life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science. At longevity. At exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training.
That's what I was going to ask. It's treason. Look. When I came out a long time ago, I said, they've been spying on my campaign. I said, they've been taping, and that was in quotes, meaning a modern-day version of taping. It's all the same thing, but a modern-day version. But they've been spying on my campaign. I told you that a long time ago. Turned out I was right. Let's see what happens to him now.
Soros. He has ties to over 30 major news organizations and donates large amounts of money to progress the New World Order. Just so you can see for yourself what kind of man he is, here are some of his quotes. It is sort of a disease when you consider yourself some kind of god, the creator of everything, but I feel comfortable about it now since I began to live it out. I admit that I have always harbored an exaggerated view of my self-importance. To put it bluntly, I fancied myself as some kind of god or an economic reformer like Keynes, each with his general theory, or even better, a scientist like Einstein. Reflexivity sounds like relativity. If truth be known, I carried some rather potent messianic fantasies with me from childhood, which I felt I had to control. Otherwise, I might end up in the loony bin. But when I made my way into the world, I wanted to indulge myself in my fantasies to the extent I could afford.
What sort of a financial deal should Obama be seeking to strike when he travels to China next month?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
Is there going to be sort of a tipping point, a moment at which the dollar is fatally weakened, or does it just sort of carry on?
An orderly decline of the dollar is actually desirable. A decline in the value of the dollar is necessary in order to compensate for the fact that the U.S. economy will remain rather weak, will be a drag on the global economy. China will emerge as the motor replacing the U.S. consumer. And of course it's a smaller motor because the Chinese economy is much smaller. So the world economy will have less of a motor. So it will move forward slower than it has in the last 25 years. But China will be the engine driving it forward, and the U.S. will be actually a drag that's being pulled along through a gradual decline in the value of the dollar. So there would be a slow decline in the value of the dollar.
The highest unemployment, the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. We have more people. We've had over 15 million people brand new hired into the workforce. You know, my son says we all have we all have various short-term descriptions for your jobs, for what you accomplished. And you should say Joe Jobs.
That was the best Biden looked all night. Because a few minutes later, the president stopped moving, and Obama had to escort him off the stage.
Levon Robinson, 324 Euclid Ave, Chicago, Illinois, is Michelle Obama. And it shouldn't be all that hard to swallow. No disgusting pun intended. Oh, that's gross. But did you notice that after Obama became president, our entire nation turned into a gay country? Everybody's gay, everybody's furries, they're transgender, he, she, me, they, we, them, this, that, the other thing. Why is it the tiniest actual percentage completely dominates music, television, social media, and you can't say one single solitary thing? The government protects these people, but they don't protect their own homeless people. They don't protect their own veterans in the numerous wars. We've been at war my entire life, and the government doesn't protect any other interest group besides them. And you want to know why? It's because of this happy little fella right here, the Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what it's all about. This is exactly what it's all for. These people.
Yes, we can. 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 Thank you, say. 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 Thank you, say.
We pointed this out. We pointed this video out years ago when Obama decided to go to visit the pyramids.
Was married her. His name is Carr. And his name is written hieroglyphic as Carr. And actually,
that looks like me. Look at those ears.
And what a strange thing. The tour guide brings him into a pyramid, and the very first thing he points out is Obama. I mean, that's just completely coincidental, right, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, that looks like him, because it is, okay? The ancient Egyptians aren't what we think they are whatsoever at all. This right here, Barack and Michael Obama both have statues that match them identically. And it's pretty obvious, you know what I mean? It's pretty obvious. And it's a deep, 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 deep rabbit hole. But think about this. They've been doing clone work for the longest time. Barack and Michelle, or Michael. This is a deep rabbit hole. We've been telling you for years that Barack will be back, and everybody laughed, and everybody laughed, and everybody laughed. But let's laugh about this.
Ramming into the beach, which, incidentally, the ship that rams into the beach is called the White Lion, which was literally the first slave ship to reach the colonies back in 1619, 404 years ago. So is it saying that slavery is coming back to America? Remember a video or two ago I was talking about the money failing in Genesis 47, the famine with Joseph, and the money failed, and the people all had to sell themselves into slavery for bread? Well, is this telling us the same thing? Is Obama's production outfit called Higher Ground, which is what you seek when you're trying to avoid a flood, right? You seek higher ground. And don't forget, he's also got another outfit called My Brother's Keeper, which was the smart aleck response that Cain gave to God regarding murdering his brother. So this is the kind of stuff Obama's connected to, as if you didn't already know that. But all I wanted to point out was in the movie, all the ships and the animals and cars and everything are being drawn to this area. The ship crashes, the plane crashes, all these Teslas, hundreds and hundreds of Teslas automatically just go to this location. Tesla. Think about that. This movie takes place on Long Island, on the north shore of Long Island, on the Long Island Sound. Get a load of this. Tesla, over 100 years ago, in 1904, built a tower called Wardenclyffe. That's what Tesla did. And that tower is literally right down the street from where this movie takes place, which is in this area right here. Right? So that line goes directly to New York City, goes right past the scene of Leave the World Behind. That's where the ship beached, right there. And all the Teslas are being drawn to this location. And don't forget, it was Trump's uncle who received all the Tesla papers and went through them all, and he shared some of that information with Donald.
It's about the 2020 election. And you were talking about the security of that election, and you were telling President Trump that there's been evidence that has been uncovered of potential breaches. I'm not exactly certain, but I'd love a follow-up on this. Here's the moment right here, and perhaps do you have any updates on the 2020 election or anything that you've found, Director?
The point that I was making there in the cabinet meeting was early discovery that I had seen from a whistleblower who came forward, who was working under CISA at that time, which is responsible for critical infrastructure and trying to protect against cyber vulnerabilities, critical infrastructure, including, of course, the integrity of our election systems. And what was interesting was seeing how this whistleblower brought forward information that CISA at that time, the federal government, was aware of vulnerabilities in our election machines, but they chose not to disclose that information to the American people or to the administration at that time. This is an area, of course, of critical importance, once again, for the American people to have faith in the integrity of our elections and that it is their voice that is heard through these elections. We're continuing to investigate this, and when we have information that we're ready to release, you'll hear about it.
Okay, so we're going to be hearing more on the 2020 election and some critical vulnerabilities.
Yes.
Yes.
This week in the news, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, made a discovery that are pertinent to the so-called Russian collusion hoax. The intelligence agencies knew from information from the Dutch that there was no Russian collusion. That was known to John Brennan, that was known to James Clapper, that was probably known to the FBI, but they have notes, they have information that when they prepared this daily, weekly digest of intelligence updates to Barack Obama in 2016 and into 2017, he ignored it. He did not want to hear that. It was almost like, you find me the crime and I'll give you the criminal. Just give me a narrative that Donald Trump is colluding with the Russians and we'll spread it. And spread it they did. If it's credible, then you have a conspiracy of the top people in the United States intelligence and investigative communities conspiring with a sitting president of the United States to destroy Donald J.
Take on the intelligence community. They have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So, even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb.
Some folks are born made to wait to fly. Ooh,